Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
And here we go with a Tuesday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show. On location, as you can tell, we are broadcasting live from Hurricane Julington Creek. You know it by now, Hurricane Grill and Wings in the heart of Mandarin. Trenton Torsia is hanging around. I'm Terry Norvelle. We hope to hear from Patrick Young. I think Patrick's on his way out here. Word has it.
I have a hat for him, too.
A hat?
A year later, but I have it.
What kind of hat?
It's the Collegiate League.
Okay.
That I'm coaching in.
Yeah,
he loves the logo.
Yeah, you're good. You're a good solid year out. It's like delivery.
Should we call it 10 months? Would that make it better?
Solid 10 months. How's that Mississippi State cowbell working for him? He asked for a cowbell about 2 years ago from you.
No, it was at the same time actually, and I've not been to Starkville since.
Okay.
So what I wanted to do is
you say
authentically go and buy it there.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Instead of ordering it, that's easy to do.
There you go. Yeah. He didn't. Patrick did not want you to just order one. He wanted you to. There's something about. I want that, and I buy it, and he'll pay you for it. But he wanted you to
he's
get
not
it.
paying me.
He wanted you to get it from Starkville, not order it.
You have to gift your first cowbell.
Okay.
So he can't pay for it.
Oh, you crazy.
And we might do a whole show on that, or at least
you
a
crazy
segment anyway.
Mississippi State nut job people. What do we got here? What do we got here? What do we got here on this?
We got a little Hail State.
Hail State.
Just representing. It's
Hi.
College World Series, although they're not participating.
Yeah, only 8.
I figured I'd represent anyway.
Grade 8's down to only 6 now. Oh, boy, we may have a home run as we are watching Oregon State taking on Louisville. Elimination game. They're in the 4th inning. Oregon State just went yard. Louisville has dominated the game early. It was 3-0. Was that a solo? I think it was a solo shot. So somebody's going home as we welcome you to a Tuesday edition. The Young Norvelle Show. Two-run shot. So Louisville now leads 3-2, top of the 4th over Oregon State. Elimination game. Loser leave town. We have one game completed. The suspended game from last night was completed. They first pitched 11 a.m. this morning. UCLA, LSU. LSU held on and won like 9-5. Yeah, 9-5. So Arkansas, I think, benefits. Talk about that. Last night, we had Arkansas won the early game yesterday. They got the no-hitter thrown, so they only used one pitcher. And then we kidded around during this show yesterday. We said, man, Arkansas would love for LSU and UCLA to play all night, use a million pitchers. Well, they played about 4 innings, and they got suspended, which is probably even better, right? So LSU, UCLA came back today, picked up in the 4th, finished their game. LSU won, so UCLA has a loss. Arkansas played yesterday early, sat around all day and all night, all day. Arkansas will host UCLA, who will play their second game in a weird 1.5 game setup tonight. I think Mother Nature really gave Arkansas, and a no-hitter gave them a boost in the arm.
Yeah, and I agree. And then, to your point, too, on a suspended game, you're not bringing your starters back the next morning.
They're
at least burned for a day or two or whatever.
Yeah,
they finished 3 complete.
Yeah.
Right? So that was suspended in the top of the 4th. If you're in the loser's bracket, range your best friend.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean,
that could not have worked out better for Arkansas.
Yeah. So, I mean, the only way.
And the no-hitter. So they used one pitcher who threw a no-hitter through 9 complete. Arkansas is on track right now. If they win tonight, look out. Look out. It's going to be an Arkansas LSU SEC best 2 out of 3, basically, right?
Basically, yeah. Well, or whatever. Best 2 out of 2.
Yeah.
Then you empty the tank at that point. But so the narrative has been, and we talked about this pre-show, the wind has been blowing in all week. All of a sudden today, we're starting to see the ball fly out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
That is Arkansas' strength. They're a bunch of boppers.
Yeah. And they haven't crushed it yet. They've won a game and lost a game. They haven't crushed it yet.
It's a big ballpark.
Yeah.
The Chuck, they call it now.
Yeah.
Charles Schwab Ballpark, right? The kids call it Chuck. The Chuck is a big yard, and the wind's blowing in.
Yeah.
And that's a huge factor. Like, it wasn't just, hey, we got a puff of wind blowing in. It was blowing in a good 15,
really
20 miles per hour.
It really was. So we've got a lot of baseball to talk about. College World Series well underway. This thing's going to be a blast. Major League Baseball, we'll talk as we go into our 5:30 break when we will bring on our buddy. It'll be Baseball Talk with Kade Kistner, our buddy, the Sports Illustrated publisher. Kade knows baseball as well as anybody. My God, I know Major League Baseball, you play a lot of games. Things can change week to week. Gosh darn, we talked to Kade a week ago. Aaron Judge was red hot. The Yankees couldn't lose. The Phillies were scuffling. 1 week later, Aaron Judge went 1 for 9 with 9 strikeouts. The Yankees and the Mets were swept over the weekend. On and on and on and on. The Phillies now are on a 5-game heater. Yeah, Major League Baseball, it just doesn't slow down. And the massive trade. Rafael Devers. Where did
I've
that
got that
come
right
from?
here. Well, I mean, I have my thoughts on that, but I can save them for later.
Fire away, man. And we'll bring Kade on in the 5:30 hour.
So
Wow.
this was a brewing situation.
Yeah, he was not
Boston.
happy.
He wasn't happy based on what position they wanted him to play. So it's like, okay, so he's got this massive contract, right? So they go, hey, can you play third base or whatever it was?
Well, he wants to play third, but doesn't have a great glove, and they signed Bregman.
Yeah.
In the offseason. And Devers is almost all hit, no glove. He doesn't have a great glove, so they said, we signed Bregman. Hey, we'd like you to go play first base. I don't want to play first base. How about DH? Yeah, but I want to play some in the field. I want to play third. He couldn't play third. They got a better glove.
Right.
He didn't want to play first.
No, I know.
He wasn't happy.
Well, and the thought process is Bregman going to come back next year? Is who going to be gone? Then all of a sudden you got a hole there. He goes to the Giants, and I don't know. It's hard to see what the haul looked like for Boston. But here's Boston. This was supposed to be a year for them to compete pretty hard.
And, oh, by the way, they swept the Yankees over the weekend, and Devers hit a home run. His last at-bat for the Red Sox.
That's a little bit laughable. It's almost like Boston doing Boston things.
It really is. It really is. The fact that they swept the Yankees. Devers hits a home run, his last at-bat, I guess, as a Red Sox, and he's gone. Oh, Major League Baseball.
They're still like 7 back.
But they're right there.
They're right there
in the wild card race for that third spot.
Yeah,
they're right there. Also, and we'll talk to Kade about this as well. That Devers trade, he goes across the league now. He goes to the National League. That affects the entire National League. Oh, by the way, look at San Francisco now, and they're in the division with the Dodgers. San Francisco gets Devers, a big-time power hitter.
Yep.
San Diego's damn good. That also affects. What about postseason? If the Giants tangle with the Mets, if the Giants tangle with the Phillies, if the Giants tangle with the Cubs, that affects the National League now. Devers back coming into the NL affects the entire NL, I think.
It does, and I think the thing that now I've said this for years now, particularly with pitchers, when you switch leagues, so he's going to see pitching he really hasn't seen.
I didn't think about that
in a while.
You're right. Because he's been with the Red Sox his whole career, I think.
But it works both ways.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you pitch him, and then how do you hit this guy?
Yeah.
And maybe first time through, there's some struggles. Maybe there's not struggles because you don't know how to pitch the guy.
I'll tell you what.
Same with the pitcher.
I agree with you there.
I thought a pitcher, if every 3 years, if they would have switched leagues, I think there's longevity and there's
what's the pitcher's tendencies, what's the hitter's tendencies. There's a yin to the yang there, isn't there?
Yeah, and have you seen him live? And that's the whole thing.
I'll tell you though, here's how big a bat he has. He is. I looked today. I think it was this morning. I looked. Devers, in terms of RBI, he's like third in the league, total RBI, and he got off to a horrifically bad start. He's got like 15 home runs now.
He did. Remember, the Red Sox did as well.
He got off to a terrible start. So for him to be like third in RBI tells you he swings a big freaking bat.
And he's rolling.
Because he was angry with management. and he was like 2 for 30.
Right out of spring training.
He started terrible. Trenton Torsia, we got a lot to get to. Want to get to the NBA Finals. Boy, Oklahoma City now with that win last night, really, really close. I know you wanted to bring up, though, what's going on with the Jello shots. The Rocco's Jello shot.
Oh, you want to do that now?
Why not? And by the way, if you don't know, this is a neat tradition in Omaha. Rocco's is kind of like a sports bar restaurant right outside the ballpark.
Yes.
Right there at the ballpark. And they have a tradition now that has just caught on. Each of the 8 programs, they keep a running tally. Every Jello shot that is ordered, they ask the patron to say either they're wearing something or say,
or who do you represent?
Or who do I represent?
Yep.
So you pick a Jello shot for your team out in Omaha. LSU goes to Omaha all the time. They are the kings, those crazy Cajuns, right? They're winning again. By the way, the proceeds for the Jello shot from Rocco's goes to a charity of choice. So all those proceeds go. Now, obviously, they're making a lot of money on food that comes in.
Burgers or whatever.
So it's a great deal. But I want to say that the Rocco's people, they give Jello shot proceeds to a charity of choice.
Which is fantastic.
But LSU is running roughshod again. Is that right?
Well, yeah. So the backstory is they gained 1,000 just during the rain delay last night. They went in and hammered 1,000 Jello shots in a couple-hour period. So,
all right, nothing's going on the field, but we're going to do something off the field, right?
So the latest tally, LSU's 17,746.
17,000 Jello shots so far,
The
and
next
we're on Tuesday.
Yeah. We got a ways.
This thing could go through Monday.
We got a ways to go. Murray State was second.
And they're gone.
It's 72.93.
And I got to believe they're dwindling because they've all gone home.
They're 10,000 back. Now, I'll tell you,
they were excited to be there.
So the sentimental favorite, I've got neutral people that I know that are in Omaha, and they're all posting for Coastal Carolina.
Okay.
So they're not going to rep
right.
LSU.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If they're your people from Mississippi State, oh, no.
But
by the way, LSU doesn't need any help.
No.
Those crazy Cajuns, go Tigers.
It's not.
Ed Orgeron and the boys rolling there.
It's not even close. It's not even close.
Gotta love that.
But what a neat thing, and we followed it, for years now, and it's just cool to, and it posts on X all the time.
Yeah.
There's kind of the daily update. So Rocco's and another place called Lefty's. Those are the two places
I didn't know about Lefty's
to go to.
Okay.
When you're
Lefty's,
in Omaha,
sports bar, restaurant kind of thing.
Yeah, right around the same area there.
Nice.
So if you want to get there early, get your parking or whatever it is, or get your Uber there, however you're getting there, and then go find a place to hang out.
Right.
Those two places are the most popular.
I've got to just make a bucket list, and to hell with who gets there. It doesn't really matter who the 8 teams are.
Matter. There are people that their vacation every year is Omaha this time of year.
Got to get out there.
Doesn't matter who's there.
Got to get out there. It really doesn't matter. This year was 8. Did you know this was 8 totally different teams than last year? Nobody carried over from last year. And who cares? Who cares? It's a great tournament.
You had a couple that were.
Did you know that, though? Nobody from last year.
I did not know that.
No one carried over. Think about it.
2 that were
Tennessee
great
won
stories.
it. Florida State, Florida, no.
Yep.
Texas A&M, no.
Yep.
On and on and on. I mean, nobody carried. 8 brand new teams in Omaha this year, which is good for baseball.
That's great for baseball.
Really good for college baseball. Don't look now. Coastal Carolina's 2-0. LSU and Coastal Carolina are the 2-0 teams. They are in the proverbial driver's seat. What the hell's Coastal Carolina doing? They've already won it once.
I know, but not that long ago either.
Yes, like 16, I think it was. 16. They remind me, they're kind of, and I don't want to say it's all money, but literally before Coastal won it in 2016, which was a while ago now, I'd never even heard of the university. Coastal Carolina. I'm assuming they're kind of a Johnny-come-lately with a lot of money somewhere. And I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm assuming Coastal Carolina has probably had a footprint kind of like Liberty. Liberty in football and in all sports, but especially football. Liberty has a lot of church money. And say what you want, it takes money to win at big-time athletics.
100%.
And, I mean, look at Liberty. Liberty now, they dip their toe in athletics. a couple decades ago, they made the jump to Division I football. They put money into it. Are they winning a title? Not right now, but they represent. Liberty plays D1 football. That's who I'm reminded of when I see Coastal Carolina. Had you ever heard of Coastal before they won that title? I had never heard of them.
Not before they won the title, and that's not a team that you would historically play.
Yeah.
Midweek or what? Because they would be a midweek or early season weekend game.
Sure. Just
based on the conference that they play in. But their coach is highly coveted.
Yeah.
And he has stuck around. Now you start factoring in
ain't no way
this
he
whole
going
new
to the
profit sharing.
I'll put my money on, and it looks like, do we have another drive? Looks like Louisville's hit one out. You talked about the ball flying out right now in Omaha. Louisville has countered the Oregon State home run, and I want to see, is it now 4-2? Yeah, 4-2 Louisville.
Well, yeah.
Bottom of four. Looks like a home run derby going on in Omaha.
In that ballpark, if the wind dies down and it's 100 degrees, ball's going to fly.
Ooh. Speaking of degrees, when I pulled up here at Hurricane Grill and Wings, get the gear out of the car, I'm on the asphalt. It's a smooth 112 probably out there on the asphalt.
I'm going to say 132.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't want to panic everybody. Okay.
Well, but you take two steps and you feel the heat radiate through your feet all the way up to your brain.
Yeah.
That's called no bueno.
Yeah, I agree. But I need to make it a bucket list. Just go ahead. And by the way, do it ahead of time. Do it a year ahead of time. Get a room. Book it for, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday, whatever. Yep. Do it ahead of time. Even
it doesn't matter who's playing. Just do it.
And buy the tickets and go.
Yep.
It looks like just such a fun trip.
And if you do it,
and it's not, what about Johnny Rosenblatt? What about the old stadium? But at the time, it was right?
Well, I played the old stadium.
At the time, it was right. There, right?
Ball used to fly out of that yard, though.
Do you know how far, and I'm assuming Johnny Rosenblatt, the original stadium, is knocked down. Do you know how far in proximity this one is? I don't think it was built right on the ground.
No, I think it's under 10 miles, though,
really
right around that really area,
close.
Because
really
what they do there, which is really special, is each school gets local people.
Okay.
Kind of the chamber thing.
Okay.
Hey, we'll show you where to go. By the way, there's going to be a Coastal Carolina night tonight at this steakhouse.
Yeah.
And we rented out the ballroom.
Yeah.
And then the alumni get to go.
Yeah.
And spend time with the players.
Yeah.
Which, the players don't love, but they owe it.
Sure they do.
To the alumni. These guys, think about the financial sacrifice.
Absolutely.
Either drive or get on a plane, get the hotel.
Absolutely.
And we're going to go out. And so you owe every bit of that. But they control it. So it's not like, and this is probably a terrible comparison, but it's not like the Super Bowl where you're in demand for 2 weeks and you got to figure out tickets and you got to do all that.
I get you.
It's kind of chilled out.
I get you.
Plus, it's a long event, especially if you win.
Yeah.
You win, you're going to be there.
If you make the championship round, it is a long haul.
We were there for 2 weeks.
It is a long haul. I think too long, and that's a discussion
We've
later.
talked about that.
I think it's a little long. I think the college baseball season going this deep into June. This thing will not end until earliest Sunday, right? And Monday if it goes 2 out of 3, and that's the 23rd of June. That's too long. That is too deep into the month of June, in my opinion, for the 24-25. College season, college athletic season started in late August, right? That's the start. It's not January 1. You have soccer, you have football, a couple other sports. The calendar year for academics.
You get into hoops.
Yeah,
right.
But your calendar year starts in late August. So June is very close to late August. That's too long into the calendar year, in my opinion.
No, and then here's the other thing that people don't think about, and it kind of means something. Summer baseball, like the Cape Cod League, the coveted Cape Cod League, the Alaskan League, Northwoods now, Kansas still, all these leagues, these teams, they're going to shut it down.
Absolutely.
Who are in the College World Series, because we're heading into July.
Yeah.
come August, we got to crank it back up again. We kind of need a month to chill.
Absolutely.
And I know even when I played, you went into summer ball, you already missed 2 weeks of the season, 3 weeks of the season, depending on how deep you went in postseason. So,
but college baseball doesn't have it right. It's close, and you probably will never get it right. The calendar's off a little bit. I don't know how to fix it. Casey and I talked about if you drag the start of the regular season back early February, then you punish the northern schools.
Yep.
You know, so there's not a great. Casey and I did talk about this yesterday. Maybe there are too many regular season games. I mean, you play 30 conference. I think Division I now has 55. I think you have 30 conference and 25 non-conference. Maybe 25 is too many.
But it's always been 55.
Yeah, I think so.
It has.
So, yeah.
And so,
well, you know, in the old day,
but the
Miami
problem
would
is
play 75 games.
We were 50-16 one year. Woo, geez, that's like it's not a minor league season, but I mean, if you put the time frame, that's like playing,
and then
pro baseball. And
this season, the college. I don't mean to cut you off. The college season goes so long, and I get it. There's only a finite amount of teams still playing, but the college season, still these 8 playing, these 8 teams playing. That draft is coming up. A lot of these 8 teams are going to have a lot of drafted players. You got to give they get drafted, they sign a pro contract. They need a little bit of breathing room before they say, okay, go off to A-ball in Roanoke or somewhere. The pro guys look up and they go, well, if we sign the contract, we give them 2 weeks to catch their breath, go home a little bit. These teams in Omaha, right? These guys get drafted. By the time, if you get back and it's September, you're only going to have a few at-bats. You're only going to have a few innings pitched.
If any.
Yeah.
Because if you're a high draft pick,
they may shut you down.
Especially as a pitcher, they just shut you down and say, guess what?
Your arm's had enough.
We may send you to winter ball. We may not. If not, we'll see you in the spring.
Yeah. And if you're a pro franchise and you just invested in Trenton Torsia, I kind of want to send you to my place, but I understand, man, you just grinded through a season. I don't know if I want to have you sign the contract, go kiss your mom bye again, and hit the road again.
And and not to discount minor league baseball, but you just went from the pinnacle to played in front of 20,000 people.
How about that?
And now you're going to go to rookie ball
on national television every game, 25,000
media in your face, the whole shebang.
Then you go to rookie ball in wherever USA, right?
And there's 800 fans.
800 fans.
And you're
in a dingy locker room, right? You lived it.
I did.
You lived it. You're
crappy bus.
You may have hot water.
You might
after the game.
You might. We're just
gonna,
you know what? I'm just going to shower at the
only
hotel.
thing's open is McDonald's.
Wait,
you don't
even stay in hotels. You stay in motels when you're in a minor league.
Which means you pull up to the door, right? A motel is you drive up to the door, I think.
And it's right there. You open the key and you're in.
And by the way, driving
no hallways.
Motel with
no sundry shop.
No. Driving up to a motel door, nothing ever good has come out of that. Right? There was never a good.
How could it be?
There was never a good deal worked in the overhang of a opening, right?
No.
Never anything. And I get to use my word again. The only deals worked in that area is something tawdry. Right? Tawdry deals.
No doubt. And like you walk in and the first thing you do is you pull the shower curtain back and make sure you open the closet.
Yes.
If you have one.
No guys doing this.
Yeah.
Right?
Or a guy that's not moving.
Yeah. Weekend at Bernie's made us
bad.
Weekend at Bernie's made us stop there. Oh, you had a few of those motels, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
Actually, you're
like, this isn't Mississippi State anymore.
It's a funny story. My rookie year, our bus did not have a bathroom on it.
Oh.
So we're taking 8-hour bus trips.
And somebody's always going to have their bladder busting right there, right?
Yeah.
Every 5 minutes, somebody's got to go to the bathroom, right?
And then you go, you know what? We're not stopping. It's kind of like your dad, when growing up you're going on a trip. You'll be all right.
And
I really like.
If you're that guy that really has to go on a bus with team, managers, equipment guys.
30 people,
30
probably.
people, and you're that guy that really has to go. It's hard to scream out, "Hey, bus stop! Hey, bus driver!"
You better be popular.
You're gonna get it. You're gonna catch it. Along those lines, even buses with bathrooms. I did JU radio, football, baseball, basketball for about 2 years, a couple of years over at JU. So especially on basketball, take road trips. And, we'd be on a big bus, and we'd do like 2 or 3 trips. You'd go play ETSU. You'd catch 2 or 3, to try and get
but that's a long trip.
Maximize your travel. So we were on a bus with a bathroom, but I can't tell you how many times. Basketball team, 12 players, but everybody that goes is 25, 30 people, 30 people on your traveling party. So you're in a big 56-seat bus, a big bus with bathroom in the back. But, I'd always sit up near the front, with coaches and a radio guy and, your grown-ups. But, you're talking like 2:30 a.m. in the morning, and that bus is just in the middle of wherever, and it's dark, and you got to go to the bathroom. You got to get back there, and there are 14 6-foot to 6'11" guys scattered and stretched. I'm hurtling legs and hopping people, and you're trying not to wake somebody up, dude. You're just trying to get to the bathroom, but invariably you're gonna, I'm trying to hold 2 seats and hurdle guys that are sleeping with their, and it just, even with the bathroom, it's a battle,
Yeah.
And you end up bumping 2 guys, and they're mad. You just woke them up. Sorry,
they just fell asleep.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And the next day they go, man, I'm tired because I Norvelle.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, small bladder guy.
Yeah,
appreciate you. Hey, they walk up and hand you an empty milk jug. Here, hold this. We're about to get on the bus another 12 hours.
Tough days, man. But you know what? They were fun.
They were fun.
We used to talk about that too. We're like, guess what? Our paycheck says, in my case, Seattle Mariners. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
That made it worth it.
Getting paid to play sports. That had to be cool. That had to be real cool. Hey, speaking of sports, if you've got a basketball player in your life, great time right now for he or she to work on their game. Maybe they are already on a team, middle school, trying out for the high school team coming up in a couple of months. Maybe they're on the high school team, trying to take their game to the next level. Get the quality training that you need. Let me recommend the Jacksonville Basketball Academy. Coach Jim Martin over at Providence owns and operates this academy, has wonderful instructors. Of course, they really know the game of basketball, no matter where the talent level is at. I don't care if you're a 3rd grader learning the game, if you're a 10th grader already making your high school team, but you want to be a starter. Maybe you're thinking about college. Whatever level, they've got a camp for you and your basketball player. Check out everything they can do for you all summer long. Many weeks left of the Jacksonville Basketball Academy. Check them out online. Google JacksonvilleBasketballAcademy.com. You'll find out all the information to get signed up, where the camps are, what camps they've got, ball handling camps, big guy camps, point guard camps, whatever your need is, they will work with you and get you to that level you want to go. Learn the game the right way via the Jacksonville Basketball Academy. Check them out, JacksonvilleBasketballAcademy.com. College baseball will continue some talk. This is a pretty good game going on, and we have a night game.
It would be a good game.
We have Arkansas and UCLA. Somebody's going home. 2 pretty good teams. Typical UCLA. I know they lost today, but typical UCLA. They will pitch, they'll play small ball, and they'll field the ball. LSU got on them, though. They got a couple big hits, but LSU
but that's how you beat them.
Yeah.
That's how you beat UCLA.
Yeah. UCLA, man, they play small ball, and it's pretty to watch. They lost today, elimination game tonight. We'll get back into, we teased the beginning of the show how Arkansas really caught a break. Now, they earned it by throwing a no-hitter yesterday, and they caught a break from Mother Nature. We'll talk about what we meant about that. That and a whole lot more. A lot of baseball to talk. Remember, 5:30, we'll go national baseball picture with our buddy Kade Kistner, the Sports Illustrated publisher. It'll be baseball talk about 5:30, but plenty of college talk with Trenton Torchia when we come back.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The schedules are out for another summer of soccer here in Jacksonville with the Armada men's and women's under-23 squads, starting with the ladies and the home opener on May 24th. 2 weeks later, they're back in Northeast Florida for a June 7th matchup. The season wraps up with a pair of Friday night home matches June 20th and the 27th. As for the boys in blue, they debut against a couple league newcomers on May 9th and 17th respectively, with more home dates on May 31st, June 14th, and June 21st. All those matches are at Edward Waters University, and you can watch them live on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Those teams are a big focus on Fleet and Footy, covering the big soccer stories each week on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the net for you.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the Fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax PAL.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jax, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jax is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jax 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Back, we are back here at Hurricane Jointa Creek. Trent Torch is here. Terry Norvelle. Hot day, of course. June means hot in the summertime here in Jacksonville. Trent, real quick before we get to some sports, get back into sports and baseball, some NBA finals from last night. Man, I came here for the party. Was it a week ago Saturday?
Yeah.
And I got here 4:30ish. I was working earlier in the day, and they had the big anniversary party, Josh and Callie, and I stayed about an hour and a half. I got here 4:30. It was leaving. I had to get home and take the dog out, but man, it looked like a big old time. I had fun here. Band in the parking lot. Boy, they had it going on here at Hurricane in Mandarin. Fun place, isn't it?
It is a fun place, and it's conveniently located, especially if you pull into the marina, which is about 50 yards to our left,
right there
as we sit.
Yes, right there.
And you're on the boat for the day.
Oh.
You're like, you know what? Let's go grab it.
I ain't cooking.
No.
After the day, no.
Let's grab some, or maybe it's midday.
Or
Come
midday.
in and grab some
There you
wings,
go.
maybe some tacos, quesadillas.
Fun place.
It's a lot of stuff. Couple bevies,
Yeah.
as
Couple
they
bevies.
say, and then hop back on the boat. And
Yeah, it is a
enjoy
fun,
the rest of your day.
fun
but-
hangout. I know you've been coming here a long time, and Josh and Callie, who are the owner operators, they're here a lot of times.
Yeah.
And I think that's important too. If you can be an owner operator and you are in the facility, I think that changes things. I mean, I think there's a checks and balances, but it means you care.
Well,
it
yeah,
means you
and
care.
they're not just here; they're interactive too.
Yeah, and they're
so
interactive.
they know the, you don't want to call them regulars or whatever,
Yeah.
but they know the
Yeah.
people that are here a fair
Yeah.
amount, and it's really like a kind of a neighborhood.
It is.
Little place.
It is, and you get the little league teams. You get the after high school games.
How
and
hard
things
is
like
it?
that.
Like your daughter did things, all my
Oh, yeah.
kids did things, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, okay, Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm hungry, Dad.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Let's dip into Canes as we affectionately call it.
Yep.
And go grab a light bite.
Yeah. Fun place. And I
And
always
relax.
say, obviously, with wings in the name, you're good at wings. We know that here at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Do not sleep on the tacos. They've got a great taco selection. I've had them all. They're really wonderful. Real quick.
Well, the other thing is it's good service too.
That's good people, good service. Logan, the whole gang behind the bar, your servers, good people, good time. Trivia tonight, every Tuesday after us, about 7:00. They have trivia. They have a big turnout for that as well. College baseball. Let's update people. Suspended game completion earlier today. First pitch was about 11:00. LSU hung on, kind of stretched it out. LSU defeated UCLA today 9-5. LSU moves on. They are undefeated. They move on. They're done for the day. UCLA in a strange situation. They had to finish about 5 innings. They came up short today. First loss for UCLA. They will move on and play tonight. They will face Arkansas. Arkansas won yesterday early in the day, and they sat around, and they watched the rain, and they watched the game today. So Arkansas, a little bit of an advantage, wouldn't you say, over UCLA. UCLA had to go back to the hotel, a weird situation. You don't really go back to the hotel and then come back to the ballpark, but they're going to play again tonight. I would think advantage Arkansas in that elimination game tonight as well.
Yeah, I mean it's like a day-night doubleheader.
Weird.
And it was, I guess you could call it a game and a half, right?
Yeah.
They were halfway through the game.
Yeah.
But what do you do? I mean, think about this. What do you do all day long?
Yeah.
You're not going to go shoot hoops. You're not
No.
going to go work out
No.
in the gym.
No.
You're going to chill out in the hotel.
No, you probably tell your guys.
Maybe you go to the mall or something. I mean,
it's
do you
funny you
catch
said
a
that.
movie?
I was thinking of that. What you do if you're UCLA, you go back to the hotel. Obviously, your training staff, your support staff is there, and you brought every uniform you got. I may tell my team either everybody go to your room, go grab a shower and lay out, or just hang out until we call you. Let's go eat a meal real quick, in a couple hours. Or hey, everybody, go take your dirty uniform off, turn it in. Let's all go jump in the pool. We're not going to swim and stay out. Let's go jump in the pool for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Kind of, freshen up a little bit. Go back to your room. Something.
I don't know. I mean,
but what UCLA, they're being asked to do something you haven't done all year.
Yeah.
It's a weird situation. I would think advantage Arkansas tonight. Wouldn't you think? Elimination game.
I would think Arkansas, especially on a win.
Yeah.
A win versus a loss, is a big difference.
Yeah.
And now both of their backs are against the wall, right? It's win or go home. So
yep, somebody's going home tonight.
From that standpoint, it doesn't matter. But when you win a game, you got Mo on your side, and rolling into it, you're a little bit more confident. I think, and I haven't deep dived into it, but I think Arkansas's pitching, it's more available. They haven't used their closer yet.
They have not.
So
and
you could extend your
and
closer.
I mean, we file this under duh. Yesterday worked out so well for Arkansas. They got a complete game no-hitter from Wood. Their starter threw a no-hitter, 9 complete innings. That got them, I mean, that and the win really got Arkansas back on track. I mean, they've used whatever they used on Saturday, and then dude threw a complete game no-hitter on Monday. Their pitching is pretty nice right now, wouldn't you say, going into tonight?
100% is. And by the way, you had 19 punchies.
How about that?
Which in college are strikeouts for those who don't
Casey
know.
And
19.
Casey tracked it down, and obviously 19 of your 27 outs were strikeouts. So you only had, 8 others? Casey tracked it down, and Casey make him jump up and give us the numbers. There, he went play-by-play.
Yeah.
There were only a couple 3 balls hit into the outfield, out of the infield for the other 8 outs.
While we're on that,
Crazy.
while we're on that game,
yeah,
can we bring up the call?
Go ahead.
I think it was the 8th inning. 2-strike count. Hit batter.
Right.
Approach their challenge.
Yeah.
They reverse it. And in college, if you interfere with a pitch, it's a strike. And instead of hit batter, close game,
yeah,
you never know at that point, right? Becomes strikeout.
Yeah. How about that?
Because the hitter, not put it this way, and I'm a pitcher.
Yeah.
You get it. And I'll always defend the pitcher, but number one, you can't make that call in that situation, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it was the right call.
Did you see where Gage Wood, the guy that threw the no-hitter for Arkansas, I think I got this right in case he can jump in if I don't. He snapped off a huge breaking ball that hit a back foot, or he'd had a perfect game.
Yeah.
Or he'd had a perfect game. And it wasn't like it got away from him. It had so much break, it hit the back of the guy, or he'd had a perfect game. Arkansas is in this thing now.
I agree.
The combination of the rain delay that forced LSU and UCLA both to come back today, and I know LSU is sitting in the catbird seat along with Coastal. They're both 2-0, and I get that. But Arkansas is right back in this thing. Had Arkansas won yesterday, but they used 4 pitchers, I wouldn't feel like I do. They used 1 pitcher. Got through a no-hitter. They are back on track. They could technically throw, couldn't they? They're playing Tuesday night. Playing tonight. Could they throw their Saturday guy Sunday, Monday? Well, probably not. They probably wouldn't go.
I don't know. So I guess their Saturday guy threw 100. Gage threw 109 pitches, 119. Does he even come back at all?
Yeah.
Historically speaking, in the College World Series, yeah, he will.
Yeah, and in
2 or 3 days rest or whatever.
I get it.
But
you gotta ride these guys and be careful with them. These are young dudes, man. These are young arms still. I mean, these aren't 35-year-old guys that got a lot of mileage on them. If you had to and this is a one-in-a-lifetime situation.
Yeah.
If you came back on 3 days rest, I don't think you're, shun that manager for being such a ogre.
Well, but the way they treat them now, you throw once a week. Like if you were a weekend starter, and I hate back when I played, I hate saying it.
Yeah.
We played doubleheader Saturday, 1 game Sunday. All your weekend guys threw some midweek in a game.
I remember that.
Instead of throwing a bullpen or whatever, it's like it's gonna be 2 or 3
now,
innings
though,
or whatever.
right?
No,
That's
it's
different.
once As a matter of fact,
I remember that. We'd have a starter on a Tuesday or Wednesday, throw 2 innings.
You got guys now. Friday starter plays next Thursday.
Yeah.
And they don't throw their Friday guy.
Yeah.
Because it's Thursday.
Yeah.
It's like it's 6 days rest,
Yeah.
right? Or 5 days.
Yeah.
Whatever the number is. But the point being, that's a lot of rest. That's a lot of rest.
Tracking the game going on right now in Omaha. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Oregon State at bat. They're the visiting team, obviously. Louisville leading 4-2. Starting to get late. Bases are loaded. Oregon State has the bases loaded with 1 out. And a batter at the plate. Loser leave town. This is an elimination game. So by the end of the night, weather permitting, 2 more teams will be sent home.
Yeah.
1 team here, and then 1 team later tonight, Arkansas or UCLA. Arizona's gone home. Murray State's gone home. Either Louisville, Oregon State goes home, and then either Arkansas or UCLA goes home. I do hate what happened, and this is not just Terry, SEC boy, coming out. I do hate, and this is a flaw they're going to fix. The NFL is wrestling with this. Reseeding teams once you get this deep in the playoffs. We had LSU and Arkansas played in an opening game Saturday night. That was the two highest seeded teams still left in the field. Arkansas is 3, and UCLA is, and LSU is 6. It was predetermined as they came out of their supers, they were going to play each other. That was predetermined. We shouldn't have had 3 versus 6 opening up the tournament against each other. Would you agree with that?
No, I mean, I completely agree. And because they were the 2 highest national seeds
that were left
at that point.
Yeah.
No, I mean, they might take a look at that. And
I think the word is they're going to start really looking.
Because you have to, if those are the highest 2 national seeds, you put them in opposite brackets.
Yes. Yeah. You would think.
And then
you would think
it gives them an opportunity to.
And I get it. We had quite a few upsets. What happens is they seed 1 through 16 when the whole field is announced. 1 through 16. And by the time you got through regionals and super regionals and got your 8 teams to Omaha, only the highest seed 1 and 2 got knocked out. So Arkansas was 3, 4 and 5 got knocked out. LSU was 6. They were the 2 highest seeds in Omaha, but they played game 1 against each other. That's wrong.
Think about a year like this where so many top seeds went down in the supers?
No.
I mean, really, especially if you're at home, you generally hold serve. You got the big crowds. And,
sure.
You know,
it's tough. I mean, that's super regional. I get it. The other
like
team
a Murray State, I tip my cap to.
Yeah.
Coastal Carolina, you could argue that, okay, they're right there on the hinge.
Sure.
And fringe, I should say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they might, they've got a puncher's chance. But Murray State, were they not a 12 seed?
They were like 13, I think. Yeah.
But
wait a minute. I may be getting mixed with Coastal.
No.
I may.
Would you say, Case?
Yeah, I thought I heard. Case, did you have something there? Maybe not. Oh, PY.
There he is.
PY. What about the no-hitter yesterday, Patrick? No-hitter for. Hey, nothing better than that, man. Get a little grub from grandma and watch some baseball.
I didn't know I needed a nap, but oh man, yeah, I was watching that game. First off, that kid was dealing. You could tell how confident he was.
My God.
And you feel bad for Murray State because they put all those numbers up, guys, and you saw it. 800. Their stadium holds 700.
Yeah.
The players put the tarps out on the field and.
Yeah.
First appearance, you hope that they get a chance to win one game, but I mean, Gage Wood was incredible, and everyone when he hit the guy in the 8th inning, everyone just put their hands on their head like, oh man, that's how you lost the perfect game.
That's a perfect game he had if he didn't hit the guy, and it ended. It's funny you said that about Murray and they're their own grounds crew. When I was at JU, I was on work study, to make a few dollars. You could qualify. I qualified for work study, which, means you got to the practice field and you pulled the batting cage out, you drug the field, and you just did your stuff to make a few dollars.
Yeah.
And I qualified.
You don't mind it?
No, you don't mind it. You're going to be at practice anyway. So, make a couple $100 a week and qualify. I'm qualified for it. But speaking of that story Patrick brought up, we had 2 retired men that were our grounds crew, and they worked hard. They were TA's dad, Coach Alexander's dad, and one of his best friends were our grounds crew, and they grinded, man. They worked hard on the field, and they were at every game. But like on a rainy day, when we had to roll the tarp out,
fun.
There wasn't a crew. The work stuff. We were the crew, right? We were the crew. But now when we would go to Florida State, Georgia Tech, and it might rain, they had a crew. But Patrick, we were the crew, just like Murray State. And
where do you typically keep your tarp so it's easy to access and get on the field?
There.
Like, is it
right there by the fence,
right down the right field line?
Yeah, right. It rolled up on the big thing. But I will say this, and Trent, you'll speak to this. There's an art to putting a tarp out, and if you do it wrong, and if it's windy and all, you better know what you're doing with your crew or guy, right? No, I'm serious.
No,
and there's
they can fly away.
And there's also, Patrick, you don't just willy-nilly put it up. You need to roll it up correctly for the next roll out.
Right.
Or it's going to be a blankety blank to do it again.
It's not the roll up; it's the fold up.
It's the fold. Yeah, the fold up. And I'll tell you, sometimes when you're trying to take it off and there's a lot of water on it, it's tough. You better have about 20 guys, and you better fold it up right, like Trent said, because of the next rollout.
Yeah.
If you willy-nilly it wrong, good luck the next rollout. And then the wind blows under it, and it's getting
Did you guys see it was in the tournament early where one of the guys fell over top of the tarp as they're pushing it out? And he got rolled over for a second, but it was it's hilarious. It's so funny.
It happens all the time.
Hey,
it's
man,
like, you better keep up.
All for your own, man. Yeah, you better keep up, man.
Patrick is like a fast break, man. If you can't keep up.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, half of my commitment to you is done. I
saw the hat.
Okay.
He says he's got your
hat. Looks beautiful.
It is in my car.
He says it.
I'll tell you what, I'll go on a break. I'll go out and get it, and I will put it right here.
Don't hand it to me. I don't want to be responsible.
I'm not giving it to you.
I don't want to be responsible.
I'm going to show it. I'll just send you a picture.
Hey, PY.
I already did, by the way.
PY, NBA Finals last night. Oklahoma City is so close. Man, in Indiana, I watched the first half and had to go to bed. Indiana was sloppy in the first half. Man,
Terry, you and I swear we're the same person when it comes to not being able to hang late. I tried. I watched the first half, and what I do, like I get comfortable in bed, I have it on, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of turned to the side. Let me put it on my phone. Then I put the game on my phone, and then I'm like, all right, OKC's gonna win, and then I just go to sleep, man. I mean, exactly what you and it was. First off, an interesting stat that they brought up: the Pacers are undefeated when they score 110 points.
Really?
How many did they have last night? 109.
109.
109.
Man, they were
the turnovers.
Early. They were so
killing them, man.
They missed their last shot too.
Yeah.
I'm on the other side of the spectrum. I was up for the entire game.
Really?
Yeah.
And there you go.
So,
and I understand that it got close to within 2 in the fourth quarter, but then
with 8 minutes left,
OKC took off.
And OKC with a couple steals, and so 2 things I wanted to dive into. One is the Halliburton playing after he got injured. There are the haves and have-nots about that.
They only gave him 5 points, right? He only had
4.
4
points.
Yeah, but so he
all
was
free throws, I think.
Right, he was 0 for 6 from the field.
Oh,
I mean, what's your take on that? Everybody's like, you got to roll with him. You know what?
He says, what is it, a calf issue he's got?
Yeah, but it's 50-50 on that.
But Patrick, you almost have to take him out if he can only.
You got to take him out. You got to take him out, especially at that point that he really wasn't affecting the game in that whole first half. Like, I think at a certain point in the fourth, and that's what everyone's been saying, like Rick Carlisle doesn't really make a lot of poor choices as a coach, but it was a poor choice to keep him in.
Yeah.
Especially when the game got close. When the game got that close, and like you said, 4 minutes have gone by in the fourth. And you can see that your team does have a chance. And Halliburton, he's not himself. There's nothing against the greatness and all the stuff that he's done. He's not himself. Why would you put him back out there? Especially when you have other guys that have been playing well. McConnell's been playing well. Benedict Mathurin's been playing well. Andrew Nembhard's been playing solid for them as well. Sure. So there were options for them to still, in the guard position, have a better finish. But defensively, they had no answer for Jalen Williams.
I'll tell you.
No, they didn't.
And I want to throw myself on the mercy of the court here. I'm not a big NBA guy during the regular season, so shame on me. But my God, this Jalen Williams guy is a scoring machine. I mean, has he been this good for a long time? My God, he scored.
He made the All-Star team this year, so he's been good.
So this is one of my talking points for Patrick also.
Okay.
Bring it to me.
Why are we talking about Williams and Shea being the next Pippen and Jordan? Stop it, please.
SGA.
Who said?
SGA.
I thought they were trying to say the big three. I thought they were trying to call them the big three. They're really pushing that now.
They narrowed it down to like the two guys that they haven't even won one championship yet.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point.
And you're gonna make them Jordan Pippen?
Yeah, it's a little too early. If they want to, what I do respect and like about this team is, obviously Shea Gilgeous, he was a trade, but for the most part, most of these guys were draft picks for OKC. Like they built their team up.
A couple of them were like second round draft picks too, which was
and there was a lot of criticism that Sam Presti, their GM, he got over not being able to win a championship with Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. And he's, had to rebuild himself, obviously, through that. They made a poor decision in picking up Paul George, but they got a great trade out of Shea Gilgeous from the Clippers. But, you got to win something first.
Yeah.
Just start there. Just start with one.
I like this comparison. I like the comparison for this reason only. Like and to your point, Trent, they got to win a championship before you really start putting. But the two guys, they do it in a way like they're not all 3-point shooting. They're not all just getting to the free late. They play their game, which is mid-range, getting to the free throw line, getting to the basket, taking the right shots at the right time. So it's really respectable and refreshing to see these two guys that still take mid-range jump shots.
Yeah.
No, that's a good analogy because it's all about the 3-point shot now, even if you're a big. And it's like, remember we had Coach Martin on and we talked about how many guys. Is anybody ever going to turn their back to the basket anymore? And
he basically laughed at it.
Oh, he gave a hard no.
Yeah, he gave a hard no. Hey, guys, staying with the NBA.
He gave a hard no.
One other thing on that. So I don't know the algorithm, Patrick, but they talked about OKC, their defense at home versus on the road. So at home, they're elite. They're in like the 99 percentile of whatever this algorithm was. On the road, they're in like the 54. So they're average. They're in like the 54 percentile. Interesting. I mean, what
do you guys believe home court advantage or home field advantage is actually a real thing?
I do. I do too.
I think it depends on a sport.
I think it can be. I think it could pick your team up a bit. Now, some people feed off of being the visitor.
Why wouldn't you?
Some people feed off that. Some players feed off of, but I think for the most part, it can help. I don't think it's going to hurt you. I don't think the home team goes, damn, we lost because of our home court advantage.
No, I mean, if you took a look at baseball and you go, your home team gets the last at bat.
And that's a little different.
It is different.
That's different. That is. Good point. Good point.
Great point, Trent. That's a great point. A little bit different though, right, Pat? That is a little different, the way baseball's structured.
Quick thought here. My grandmother actually just brought this up. Why is it an open dugout? Why is it an open dugout in baseball and a closed dugout in softball? It's the same amount of risk.
Softball's a lot closer.
Yeah, you're right. Because the bases and all, everything's compacted, so you're a lot closer. That foul ball is a lot closer, right?
A baseball mound is 60 feet 6 inches. A softball mound 46 feet. The bases are
60 versus 90.
60 versus 90. The fences are 200 versus 3 something. Now, that doesn't discount.
So tell Granny that. Hey, Granny, there you go, Granny.
No, it's still dangerous though.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
see a lot of
it is still dangerous.
A lot of schools now are putting netting up.
Yeah.
Over that, you know how you have half a dugout wall.
Yeah.
It's maybe waist high.
Absolutely.
They're now putting netting. It's just like the crowd too.
Yeah. They've extended the netting. A lot of your ballparks have extended the netting because of lawsuits.
But I'll tell you what's even worse.
Though it says
Can
on
you-
the ticket.
Terry's
Can you
favorite
believe
sport,
that they used to
worse
not?
than
We
hockey.
didn't. They used to play baseball with no helmets, like no
How about
masks.
the hockey guys that would
Oh.
prefer that don't have a face shield?
They can't do it anymore.
I know.
You have to be grandfathered
You
in.
know, there are hockey guys that if it was allowed, they wouldn't wear anything for head protection. I'm like, are you nuts? Are you?
What if you're a fan? Those pucks fly into the seats, by the way. Just so everybody.
Hey, I want to go back to the NBA Finals and bring something up. To me, this has never mattered. It was made a little bit of a story when the finals started. I could care less. Do you guys care about, oh, my God, here's what they said about this finals. Oh, my God, it's going to be terrible. 2 small market teams. I could care less about big market, small market. But people made a big deal. This is going to be terrible. In the Pacers and the Thunder, small market. Do you guys care about that? I just care about quality ball being played.
No, it's.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I mean, would you
I
care?
don't either.
Would you
I
be
can tell you
more
right
engaged
now,
if this was a New York team against an LA team? I wouldn't be any more
I'm
engaged.
as engaged as you can be.
Yeah.
I'm watching it all.
Right.
Here's the other
Yeah.
thing.
Exactly.
Where was basketball born? I mean, it's probably not factual, but the state of Indiana.
Okay.
Right?
So
you got the Indiana
Hoosiers.
Pacers.
Hoosiers.
Indiana
Terrible
basketball, Bobby Knight. I mean,
Yeah.
you could go, the list goes on and on. OKC.
Some guy named James Naismith. You ever heard of that guy? James Naismith.
Kind of, yeah.
And a peach basket.
And Larry O.
That's what Patrick grew up on. A peach basket. He sold.
A peach basket. I grew up on.
Larry
Granny
O.
cut a hole in that peach basket, put up 2 of
Didn't
them.
they have there was a cool commercial when the NCAA tournament was around with the Samuel L. Jackson and Shaq or not Shaq, but Charles Barkley.
Right.
And they were on horseback. What were they calling the game?
Yeah.
They were calling it something stupid. They're like, how about basketball? That sounds much better.
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember that commercial. That was hilarious. That was, but I
It
could,
still
I could
airs.
care less that it's quote unquote small market teams. Who cares? They
It
made
doesn't
it.
bother me. The ratings. I mean, they do it
Yeah,
all for the
sure.
ratings. So
Sure.
I'm trying to
All
think.
I know was,
I mean,
using
I think I would care a little bit more if this was like LeBron,
yeah,
Kevin Durant, maybe Steph Curry, and we're kind of thinking like, this is their last hurrah.
yeah,
This is it.
yeah.
These guys will never make it to the championship again.
So you
But other
mentioned
than that,
Kevin. You mentioned Kevin Durant.
Where's he going to pop
Where's
up
he
at?
going to wind up?
Supposedly,
I'll tell you what I would.
I can't believe the Knicks just gave an unequivocal absolutely no.
How about that?
Well, Knicks are doing Knicks things.
Yeah. Is
I want him to end up.
Did I see where Coach Donovan signed an extension? I know he was getting flirted with a little bit. Did he sign an extension
did?
with the Bulls? I think he might have signed an extension. He's going to stay with
Oh.
Chicago.
Man, he must love it out there because they
How
are
cool is
not
that,
very
though?
good.
Pat, I've asked you this before, but how cool is it that your college basketball head coach, he's been in the NBA for a long time, a couple franchises. He's the head of Michael Jordan's franchise. I mean, he's coaching the Chicago Bulls where a guy named Jordan was at. How weird is that, man?
I think that's really cool. But it's even cooler that Mark Daigneault is the head coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I don't know much about him. Talk about him.
He was a graduate assistant when I was there at Florida.
Are you serious?
Oh, wow.
He was there for 2 years. Yeah, 2 years. Well, I was with him for 2 years as a grad assistant, and he followed Coach Donovan to the NBA. I think he started as an assistant or maybe in the film room. I wouldn't know his journey, but then he was a head coach of the G League. Yeah, the G League team for a while.
Last night, I'm watching the game, and I watched introductions, and I really paid attention. I wanted to see, I didn't realize Williams played at Santa Clara, I think it is. And so I'm watching introductions, and they're introducing the coaches. And how do you pronounce his name? I'd never even known the guy.
Daigneault.
They said head coach.
It's an easy pronounce. It's just it looks weird, but it's an easy. And
so he was
I'm not surprised. I am not surprised at all that he's a head coach. I am a little bit just like, dang, not only is he a head coach, but like he's in the finals? What? That? That's a little crazy. He coach of the year last year.
And
coach of the year.
And he was off of Coach Donovan's tree.
And I love their brand of basketball too, by the way.
How about that, Pat? I didn't know that. Good pull.
Yeah, and you would think for him with the path to be college, because I could see him being successful on the college level. He's just such a moldable guy. And like what I love about him, he really seeks to understand as a coach.
Yeah.
He seeks to, and he treat every player he treats differently, like to their personality. And he's a basketball junkie, loves the game.
Yeah.
And I think he was on the college level, and I just remember many interactions I had with him. Like, man, there's something special about this guy, and it's a special temperament you have to be a head coach in the NBA. Like a guy like Dan Hurley, would. I'm not gonna say would never make it in the NBA,
tough,
but you just know he would rustle some feathers at some point.
Wouldn't he get in a fight with one of his players at some point? He'd get in a fight with a player at some point.
Look at Rick Pitino. Look at John Calipari. I mean, they just that style is not going to play in the NBA.
That grown men.
No,
it doesn't work, man.
Hey, I may have,
especially when the guys are making more money than you.
Yeah.
Well, that's where it starts too.
Go back to the coach, though, Daigneault, as you said. I may have misheard you. Did you tell us what was he under Coach Donovan for a long time? Were they together for a short time? What was his path with Coach Donovan?
At least 3 years. He came into Florida my junior year, and how old did he have to be at that point? He must have still been in his 30s. He had to be in his 30s at that point. And I don't remember where he came from or how the relationship started from there, but yeah, he was there. He was integral in our, because sometimes you need, like, the head coach can only do so much.
I agree.
That sometimes you need to hear of a different voice from somebody that is in the organization. As a player, everybody there once was best for you. You know that, but sometimes, like, you're just tired of hearing from the head coach, and you need someone else that's going to be it. Maybe they listen to you. Maybe they help. They assist in a way that's an extension of the head coach, but it's not the head coach. Yeah. And sometimes the assistants, sometimes the head of the assistants, you need to get away from them too. And he was kind of like that player development kind of guy, where he was trying to find that middle ground for the players and the coaches, how we could all intertwine and everybody kind of just bring their best every day. And that I appreciate. So one story I remember, Michael Frazier, one of the best shooters in Florida history.
Oh, yeah.
He was just having a period where he was struggling with his confidence for some reason. And he brought, but maybe that's how shooters are. They miss 4 shots in a row, and they're like, "Oh, I can't shoot. I'm a bad shooter." Maybe that's how they are. And he had me and Mike Frazier sit down and just have this conversation of me just telling him all the confidence in the world that I have in him, telling him that he's the best shooter. And then Frazier, he said some stuff for me as well, but he facilitated. He didn't make us say anything, but he said, "Hey, Pat, what do you think about Mike Frazier and what he brings to the game? How do you feel, Mike, about hearing what Pat just said? Pat, what do you think about?" And it was just like, man, it was awesome. And obviously from that point on, Mike Frazier went to continue on being one of the best shooters we ever had at the University of Florida.
That's an interesting approach.
Yeah.
Interesting approach.
But the other thing too is, like, all the teams I've ever played on, you have to have a heavy, and you have to have somebody who's sort of coddles you.
Yeah.
And
you do.
Even, so many years later, it's more magnified than it's ever been. It's kind of like, listen, the old school guy, the old crusty coach just doesn't work anymore in any sport.
Yeah. Hey, Patrick.
I don't want to say, but at a certain point, though, I agree with you, Trent, but like at a certain point, you got to be like, hey, man, you're a grown ass man.
Yeah.
Suck it up. This is what you signed up for.
Yeah.
When you wanted to make it to the pros, you wanted to be at this level. This is what comes with the territory: criticism, slumps, scrutinization.
That's what the heavy does.
You got to be able to have the mental strength.
Yeah.
To say, hey, those things don't define who I am as a player. I know how good or how bad I am or whatever. And you do need both sides of that for sure. But I don't think the old school coach is completely out of date.
Yeah.
Look, Arkansas is making it work.
Yeah, you're right about that. Pat, before we let you go, what was the NBA Finals? Was it decided last night? I mean, Indiana can't win 2 in a row now, can they? One at home, one on the road.
If Tyrese Halliburton is hurt, I would love to see this go to a Game 7. But if he's hurt and this calf strain is limiting him, it's really difficult to replace a high level point guard.
Yeah,
I think on the NBA level, on the college level, on the high school level, when you have a point guard that's the engine, it not saying that there can't be someone to step up. It's just that's so much change you have to try and implement just like that.
And then the opponent's backcourt last night went for 71.
But he's not.
They went for 71 in their backcourt, and you got a guy gimping around with 4 points in your backcourt. Ooh,
and he's not just running the point, but he's a guy that has to score too, right?
Yeah.
For them,
he's got to score. Yeah. He's got to score with his ugly ass shot. His shot.
I don't know. The Pacers.
It's been hard to watch his shot sometimes. Oh man, it's ugly.
The Pacers are only 4.5-point dog at home, so I don't know.
They're still a dog. They are still a dog. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I got you. All right, Pat, we'll let you get going, buddy. I think you're in the car, and I don't want to make you. I don't want the Karens to get mad. We don't like Patrick driving with the Karens.
I like Karens. I like Karens. Some Karens are nice.
They get mad. Anyway, Trent thinks he's got a shirt. What do you have for him?
A cap.
A hat.
Got a ball cap for you. So we'll get
It's still got the sticker on it, just so you know it hasn't been game worn or anything.
Nice. Sounds good. All right, PY, we'll let you get going. We're going to take a break.
Appreciate you guys.
To some baseball talk with our buddy Kade Kistner coming up at 5:30. Back after this quick timeout. Coming to you live from Hurricane Jointon Creek.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
Are you about to graduate high school and haven't decided on what you want to do when you get done? Well, one option is to apply to become a student in the Electrical Training Alliance of Jacksonville. Their program offers structured classroom and online training along with on-the-job training so that you can earn while you learn. Still not convinced? The folks at ETA Jacks are a tuition-free 4-year apprenticeship program. There is no tuition and no student debt. Just pay for your books and your fees. That's it. Now, speaking of pay, students, they start off making $40,000 per year, including benefits, and they graduate, get this, making over $80,000 per year, including those sought-after benefits. Now, that sounds pretty good to me, and if that sounds good to you, it should check off a lot of boxes. So head on over to etajacks.org and apply by May 15th. Again, the website right here, etajacks.org. Don't wait, apply today.
The rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with we are martyr rolling off our tongues. Never will we roam, for we know our place is down. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing.
Okay, back we are. Wow, look at that rain cloud over downtown Jacksonville. Goodness gracious. I know it's not supposed to surprise us because this is June, July, and August in Jacksonville in the summertime. But is that a little rainbow I see?
Well, but
a little rainbow there going across.
But here's the crazy part. What are we, 15 miles south of downtown?
Yeah.
Approximately?
Yes. That's sitting here at
we're high and dry.
Hurricane in Mandarin.
Sun's poking out over the Julton Creek.
Yeah.
And
Give it about 10 minutes and it won't be. We're
Well,
live at Hurricane Julton Creek here, our Tuesday home. I want to thank Josh and Callie for always rolling out the red carpet. We have a lot of fun here every Tuesday. Tremendous menu. Trent, you hang out here a lot. You don't live very far from here. Really a dynamic place. It can be a place for the fellas to meet and watch some ball. It can be a place for the couple to get away. If you don't want to cook, you can bring the family here. You can bring the ball team here. Our show's here on Tuesday. They've got something always going on here. Trivia later on tonight. Fun place, fun community hangout here in the heart of Mandarin. Hurricane Julton Creek.
Don't forget the marina.
Right there.
Dock your boat.
Right there.
There's public dock spots.
How about that?
Yeah.
I'm not a big boater. Are you? Never been a big boater. I want to get on the boat. I want you to do all the work, and my work is getting on the boat. Well, that's my work.
Okay.
On the boat.
You can do that, but you still have to do something. You could help tie it off. You could help push it off.
I'll be the guy that steps up when I hear Captain on the brig. Then that'll be me. I'll do that too. Is it Captain on the bridge? Captain on the, Captain on the bridge?
I don't know.
Brig? Casey, Captain on the bridge? What is it? Captain on the boat? Captain on the something?
On the bow?
Captain on the bow? That doesn't sound right.
No, but, well, I tried anyway.
Just call me Captain. As long as you call me Captain and salute me a little bit.
No, I can drive a boat.
Yeah, what's there to do?
But I can't park a boat.
Yeah, I see those. I see the docking on the internet that go wrong, especially with people watching.
Oh, that'd
my
be me.
God.
That totally would be me.
There's a skill to it. That's a skill to that, right? Kind of.
Well, it's kind of like, have you ever tried to back a trailer up?
No,
I'm done.
I can't do that
No,
either.
done.
Every time I've ever tried, the minute I start backing it up, I look out the driver's side window and I could touch the trailer. It's right there. That's not good.
They call it a jackknife.
Yeah, that's not good, right?
Yeah, no.
Touching the trailer. Hey, getting off topic for a minute. I heard this happen back in 2006. I don't remember it. I do think it's a good idea what I'm going to bring up, but I got to ask you about the cost. ESPN has announced they are going to go on tour and they're calling it like 50 stops in 50 days. They're taking SportsCenter on tour this summer, starting like June 27th for 50 days. They're going to go to different spots all around, like 50 stops in 50 states.
Okay.
In 50 days as a promotion. They say they did it. I don't remember it back in 06, 07, whenever. Number one, I think it's a cool idea. I think it's a real cool idea. I'm not a SportsCenter guy anymore because it got away from its roots. I think now it's
That's
a little
fair.
too fluffy and a little too political and a little too this. And you remember, SportsCenter was the dominant sports show. You could not miss that at one point 20 years ago.
No,
you remember those days?
Yeah, Keith Olbermann, Dan Patrick.
And it was cutting edge. It gave you everything you needed from the night before. It previewed the day. You had and it looped about 4 or 5 times in the morning.
Yep.
So you had a crack at it. I don't care if you're getting up going to work, if you were a little bit later, but it was must-see TV. SportsCenter, much like ESPN, obviously in the broadcast world, ESPN is the NFL of the broadcast world. It's the big, bloated, bombastic. Everything's gotten too, I think, fluffy for me. SportsCenter is away from what it was. But going back to it, I think it's a great idea. And they're doing it for promotion. You know, they're going to tour it around.
Are they going to cities, campuses?
A little bit of everything.
Okay.
They're doing it from events, cool places.
Okay.
But they're going to hit, and it's a promotion, and I get it and all. But my first question, this doesn't matter to me, but my first question, my God, the cost that must be associated with that. You're taking SportsCenter on the road 50 places in 50 days. The cost, and obviously they've run the numbers, and I think the promotion factor outweighs the cost. But Trent, the cost to travel to that thing.
Yeah. So you wonder, because a lot of these cities are already equipped to do shows and whatnot, right? Like,
but they're going to places like the BMX summer tour from this place in Indiana.
So are they already broadcasting that? I mean, so where do you have to set up a game day?
I think they're piggybacking a lot of stuff.
So are there rigs going to every one of these cities?
Yes.
Yeah, instead of.
But they
by
are
the way,
determining the
80% of our stuff is already exists.
No, I don't think it's. I think it's a traveling tour.
So it's a travel setup.
Yes. Now, obviously,
roadie sleep.
They've
right?
run the numbers, and they think that the promotional aspect. I guess they're figuring it would cost us less to buy marketing to market ourselves, and But just think of the cost involved in that. I think it's a good idea. Don't get me wrong, but I'm glad I'm not putting the bill.
No, I mean, there's a lot involved there.
Woo. It's a shame that, and I'm going to sound like old man. I think it's a shame.
Instead of me, that's good.
Yeah, I think it's a shame though that this crew that we're in now, this age group, 20s and 30s, the 20s and 30s, and maybe early 40s age fan was not able to experience what I consider SportsCenter at its peak, when it was must-see TV. You know what I mean by fluffy? It wasn't as fluffy.
No,
it's fluffy now.
And I'm going to age.
Bloated and fluffy now.
I'm going to age myself.
And political.
And we're the same age, so I'm going to age you as well.
Okay, fair enough.
If you don't mind.
Fair enough.
So it was the MTV era. Remember MTV?
Mm-hmm.
That's right when ESPN came out.
Very good point. Very good analogy.
My mother
ESPN
said, we just have 24-hour sports. It's perfect for you. That's exactly what you told me. And I'm like,
nice.
Well, I kind of like MTV.
MTV followed ESPN / SportsCenter. It got too bloated.
Yeah.
Remember MTV was kind of
they started doing. They got off with
they got out of the
core stuff. Yeah, 100%.
Sure.
But yeah, so and then Chris Berman, and it just built and built and built. Then it's like, if you're a sports guy, because growing up, I believe it or not, I didn't watch cartoons.
Really?
I did not.
The hell's wrong with you?
I don't know. I mean,
what are you, communist?
Well, no, but there's a lot of places we could go with that question.
Hey, Joe McCarthy, what are you doing
But
here?
I'm not going to go there.
Who invited Joe McCarthy to
I
the
did
show?
not watch cartoons. I was probably throwing a bullpen or something.
Was it
as a kid? But
was
no,
it
so
your choice? Were you anti-cartoon at 6, or did your family think it was too much violence? What the hell? We got to get back to this.
had nothing to do.
Sit down, Trent. Let's talk.
Okay, let's do it. It had nothing to do with my family.
Weirdo.
I was ready to go.
Okay.
I'm not going to sit down. I still can't.
Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner?
No. I mean, I've seen episodes.
Red Flintstone?
I kind of get it. I understand. I understand the Flintstones and the Jetsons. And
Are you a communist? Did I ever ask you that?
Well, you did. And, no,
Jeez.
I am not a communist.
Things you learn about guys sitting 1 foot away from you.
Why
sometimes.
are we?
Casey, I'm not really comfortable right here.
And by the way, I'm not a huge
Casey,
intellect.
call the police.
I'm not a huge
Call the police, Casey.
Listen, I'm not a huge
Hurricane.
intellect either.
Mandarin. You're not a what?
I'm not a huge intellect, but I just didn't.
You're not a huge intellect? You shouldn't say that.
Well, but I
should
mean,
say that
like
about
you should say, "Oh, were you reading a book?"
I got you.
And no, I wasn't reading a book, but I did not want to
Have you
watch.
ever said the Pledge of Allegiance? Are you American?
Yes.
Or are you communist?
No.
You know Joe McCarthy, right?
Yes.
Oh boy, things you learn about a guy. You want to?
I
Everybody watch
listen,
cartoons.
I just did. I wasn't.
You ate a bowl of
interested.
cereal Saturday morning. You finished. Maybe you went and got a second bowl of cereal. You finished the
I did the-
cartoons,
I
and
did
then
the-
off you went.
I did the cereal.
What the hell's wrong with you?
The cartoons. I'm like, I'm gonna kind of eat and walk out the door, and
You're too smart for cartoons.
that's not what I said.
Sounds
I
like- it
just
sounds
thought-
like you're
I just
saying
covered that. What are you talking?
It sounds like you're saying you're smarter than Hanna-Barbera. Remember that? What
Oh
about that
yeah.
bull? What
Oh,
about that
I
bull?
100%
They were the
do.
cartoon guys, right? Creators.
They wrote almost all of them, didn't they?
What the hell are we doing? What are we talking about? Yeah, I think they did. They did. Remember Mel Blanc? He was the voice for like all of them.
Yeah. Now, flash forward 100 years, I like today's not cartoons, but like Family Guy.
Wow.
Love that show.
That show is. That's lowbrow. I like it though. It's lowbrow, a little lowbrow, but you know anything goes on animation. Pretty much comedy and animation, you can get away with anything. They get away with a lot on that show, don't they?
Yeah.
They get away with a lot on.
I don't know
that
how
show.
they still do, but
yeah,
they
yeah.
do. So,
All right, let's did we talk about the Jello shots? I can't remember.
No, we can recap it. We did
real
though.
quick. Did we? Yeah, real quick. Jello shots. Take a break. Come back. We'll talk some baseball talk with Kade Kistner from Sports Illustrated.
So-
where are the Jello shots at now in Omaha?
LSU 17,746.
And it's Tuesday.
The next closest is Murray State, who's going
Ow.
home 7,293. So they're
10,000
10,000
Jello
shots
ahead.
behind. And LSU gained 1,000 shots during the rain delay last
and
night.
LSU is 2-0, so they're going to be there at least another 2, maybe 3 days, even if they lose 2 in a row.
If you're Omaha and you're not even in the city of Omaha and you're not an LSU fan, you
Those-
want LSU present.
Those Cajuns, those crazy Cajuns. Why do I feel like Ed Orgeron's right there front row somewhere?
How many could he do?
Tigers.
How many could he do?
Go Tigers.
He's a big guy.
Ed Orgeron's right in the middle
What's
of that.
the over-under on how many Go Tiger can do
Go Tigers.
in one city?
Oh, he would be right up there with, you know, the legend of Andre the Giant, supposedly the greatest
yeah.
beer drinking session ever. He sat at a bar supposedly one night and had like 160 over 18 hours now, like 160 12-ounce beers. Now he was 6'9", 450. But remember, you see the picture of Andre the Giant?
Yeah.
And the 12-ounce can looked tiny in his hand.
It
Looked like you were
100%
holding a Monopoly piece in your
Yeah.
hand. You know?
No, I remember that. I was a big wrestling fan growing up. Maybe that's what I did instead of watching cartoons.
Drink beer?
Wrestling. Watch wrestling.
What a growing up time you must have had. Just hammering beer at 12 years old. Way to go.
Stop.
The authorities calling for your parents.
It's okay.
I want to talk to your parents real quick.
That's
That
all right.
explains a lot about you.
Oh, that's
It
good.
explains a lot. Let's take a break here. We'll come back up. Good deal with the Jello shot. So that thing's untouchable. LSU's going to win again. They're there another couple
Well,
days.
running away. I mean, they can't. They still have to lose 2 games. They're not going to lose them in the same
That's
day.
what I'm saying. They're going to be there at least 2.5, 3 days.
Yep.
In addition, so can we go ahead and give them their own title again?
How can you not?
I think they could win if they don't even make it to Omaha.
I mean, Murray State was the closest, and they're out of there.
All right, on to Major League Baseball talk. We'll talk. It'll be baseball talk with our buddy Kade Kistner, the publisher for Sports Illustrated. Really knows the game of baseball. A lot went on this weekend. Goodness gracious, all the games they play in baseball, things change almost nightly. We'll talk about everything, and the big trade with Kade Kistner on the other side. Stay with us right here on the Young Norvelle Show, right here on Action Sports Jacks.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The schedules are out for another summer of soccer here in Jacksonville with the Armada men's and women's under-23 squads, starting with the ladies and the home opener on May 24th. 2 weeks later, they're back in Northeast Florida for a June 7th matchup. The season wraps up with a pair of Friday night home matches June 20th and the 27th. As for the boys in blue, they debut against a couple league newcomers on May 9th and 17th respectively, with more home dates on May 31st, June 14th, and June 21st. All those matches are at Edward Waters University, and you can watch them live on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Those teams are a big focus on Fleet and Footy, covering the big soccer stories each week on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the net for you.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the Fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jack's Pal. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jackspal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jack's Pal.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jacks, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jacks is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jacks 24/7.
All right, let's do have some baseball talk as you see that logo right there with our buddy Kade Kistner, who is, of course, the publisher for Sports Illustrated. Kade knows the game of baseball as good as anybody. That's why we bring him on here on Tuesdays. Kade, welcome to the show as always, man. We got to hit the ground running. My God, what a weekend. What a week since we've last visited in and around Major League Baseball. The trade, I guess we're just going to call it the trade. Where the hell did this trade come from, Kade? And what do you make of it with Devers?
Yeah, I think it was kind of it was a trade. It was a move that was going to happen, right? It was something in the making, obviously. I mean, with kind of the very public back and forth that Devers was having with the Red Sox, and kind of all reports indicate, as well as some of my contacts in the Red Sox organization, is there's no love lost there. Internally, the Red Sox were kind of happy to get rid of him. I mean, you even have David Ortiz coming out and kind of calling him out. So. And in all honesty, he's owed a lot of money, and he's on the books. The Giants are willing to take that on. That was Buster Posey's kind of first big move as GM for the Giants. Didn't really have to give up a whole lot to get him, other than take on the salary. And the Giants went out and got their big bat and all-star caliber hitter, right? So good move for the Giants. It got the Red Sox out some drama and some money, and the Red Sox don't have a very good track record of making good trades lately, but I think in the end for the Giants, probably an A- trade. For the Red Sox, it kind of remains to be seen.
And,
so Kade,
that marriage was broken, though, right? I mean, they weren't getting back together. That was over, right? That marriage.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely over. Yeah, it was over before the season started. It was over as soon as the Red Sox signed Alex Bregman.
Yes.
So, Kade, it's Trent. And when you look at that, you got the locker room issue. You offload a player in a year that you're supposed to contend. And then coming off of sweeping the Yankees, your rival, you're kind of back in it. I think they were 7 back after the weekend, after being kind of way out of it. And it just seems like it's Red Sox doing Red Sox things.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing, too. You kind of mentioned it, right? They're back in the game. One player, a lot of times is not kind of the make or break. And right now, the Red Sox have a pretty good little core they got going on. They've got some good pitching. They made a lot of great pitching moves in the offseason. So, it kind of looks like, they're going to be okay, at least in the interim. So, again, I think that when you kind of get rid of that drama and that noise out of the clubhouse, it can almost help a team out a little bit more.
So if you're if you're anybody in contention in the National League, and of course the Red Sox did what was best for the Red Sox in the American League, but if you're in the National League, you're going great. Why'd you trade him down here? we got to,
right,
because this guy can hit. I mean, I saw RBI wise, he's way up with the leaders, even though he got off to a terribly slow start. Hell, he's got 15 home runs now. I fit right around 15 the last time I looked, and a bunch of RBI. So the guy can hit, but this is going to impact the National League. I mean, San Francisco just got a lot better, didn't they?
They did. They got a lot better. Again, they were needing a big bat because they've had a home run problem all year, right?
Sure.
So this is a perfect fit for them. Kind of another, a true face of the franchise for them. I mean, before that, I think it was, maybe Willie Adames, right? So this is a perfect fit for the Giants. It solves most of their problems, and he's going to an already stacked NL West. So, I mean, there's more fun than that.
Before we get to the West, I want to go to the Phillies. Gosh darn, things happen quick in this league, man.
Yeah.
You play so many games every week. Trent, I think when we were just visiting a week ago, the Phillies were scuffling around a little bit. I mean, you look up now, and it might be schedule induced, but they're on a 5-game heater. They're only a couple behind the Mets now. Wheeler over the weekend, another quality start. Man, things change for the good and bad in this game, doesn't it?
Well, that's why you can't ride the highs and the lows. I mean, you have to. It really is like, okay, a 4-game skid. Yankees are on a 4-game skid right now. You can't let that get to you. You just you have to trudge on. There's no way you can stay hot for 160
Man,
games.
I tell you, but
you just can't do it.
But Kade, the Phillies were scuffling 10 days ago. Now look at them.
Yeah, we were talking about the loss of Bryce Harper and the inability for the leadoff hitter to kind of do anything. And, now the backs are coming alive. Wheelers look good. Like you said, 5-game win streak. I think 2 or 3 back from the Mets. So, and not a whole lot you can complain about. There's some controversy today, though, with the team. So Nick Castellanos was suspended by Rob Thompson for a game. And that's because he was pulled last night in the 8th inning as a defensive substitution, which I'm not sure why Castellanos would get upset about that. He's easily one of the worst defensive right fielders I've ever seen play the game. Great bat, but he came back to the dugout and mouthed off, and so the punishment was getting suspended, but at least for 1 game. But that's not really the big story. The big story is that he was 1 start away for tying the MLB record for most consecutive starts, which Pete Rose set 40 years ago.
Oh my, that's going to leave a mark.
Yeah.
Now let me back up though real quick, Kade. You said he was pulled. You don't mean pulled in the middle of an inning, do you?
No. At the start of the 8th. Yeah, the top of the 8th.
Rich Jackson, Billy Martin things. No, okay.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it was a closer game. They needed a defensive replacement. They had a little lead, so it makes sense. And this isn't the first time it's happened. So, but Nick Castellanos is one of those players who, he's got a massive ego. He doesn't really like to talk to the media, and there's different questions about his leadership ability, and always have. And so to act like that, and understand that was probably, for the best for the team in that moment, and then to mouth off to your manager in public is, it's what happens.
Well,
you can't do that. Now, you'll wonder if that's going to parlay into a situation where ownership steps in and says, what are we doing here?
Right.
We're paying this guy to put butts in the seats, and now you're gonna sit him down, and then all of a sudden there's tension between ownership and management and player. That could present a problem.
And this is a good team too. It's having a good year. Yes.
Yeah. And right now it's kind of split with the fan base because, you kind of have half of the fan base going, well, fire Rob Thompson. He was just supposed to be an interim replacement for Joe Girardi, 3 seasons ago. Who cares? Not to mention that, he did take him to the World Series during that season. And then the other half is going, well, yeah, like you can't have that kind of attitude. It's not what's good for the team. You got to put the team first, and this team's on the roll, and why would you go off and do that as a player? So it'll be interesting to see what happens, though. I think that Rob Thompson is very well liked in the clubhouse, and I think kind of cooler heads will prevail here in this situation.
Kade, we've got a neat situation and a good baseball situation going on with the Dodgers right now. They're in a weird stretch, not a weird stretch. They're in a tough stretch. They have Padres just wrapped up with the Giants, and they have the Padres again. So they have a 10-game streak right now against really good baseball teams. They're 5-2 right now. They're playing good ball. And then obviously last night, Ohtani goes to the mound. He had electric stuff, man. I know he had a little control problem because his ball was moving so much, but I mean, he was running up there 98, 99. Ohtani back on the mound. If Ohtani comes back and he gets in the rotation on a consistent basis, that's as good as working a trade, isn't it, for a starter? I mean, it's almost found money with Ohtani, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, that's kind of the saying, right? And so Ohtani, like you said, his fastball was sitting 98, touched 100, I think, at one point, and he did have some control issues with his off-speed stuff, his splitter, slurve curve thing he's got, but. Honestly, if it weren't for a bad call, and I hate to be this guy, I'm not a big Dodgers guy, but
I know what you're
yeah, I mean, it was one of the worst calls I've seen. It was a Tatis Jr. check swing that was clearly he swung the bat.
You got to punch him out right there.
And he would have punched him out, and it would have been instead of 2 hits and 1 earned run and a walk, it would have been a scoreless inning for Shohei. So, that's a little disappointing, but that's. It's 1 inning in the grand scheme of things, and he looked good. He looked confident. He looked calm, and like you said, they're going to go to a 6-man rotation, I imagine, and kind of ease him in. But it's also a very hard thing to do. And this is just a testament to his talent is that was essentially a first rehab appearance.
Yeah.
And he's doing it at the major league level against a very good Padres lineup.
And how about it was so dynamic. What he's doing is so strange in a good way. He's on the mound to start the game, and third out's recorded. He has to hustle into the dugout to get his bat and gloves on, get everything going. And what's he bat? He bats in the 2-hole for them, right?
Leadoff. He bats leadoff. Yeah.
He leads off for those guys.
Yeah, I think the thought process was to maybe let him get to about 30 or 40 pitches. And unfortunately, with the walk and the box call and things like that, he only got 1 inning in. But the idea was that he'll go out there, pitch the first inning. He's going to bat leadoff, and then he was going to have quite a bit of time, right, to kind of rest, so he could get back out there with a little bit more rest, batting leadoff. So, but yeah.
I'm not being an apologist, kind of like you with the check swing call or no call, but he also gave up a bloop single. There was a legitimate somebody had an inside out nice opposite field single, but the other hit was a bloop single. You know,
but his stuff's so good. If he could just get bat on ball,
his ball was running so much, which I think is kind of a good thing. I think you can reel that in. He was missing some of his pitches because he had so much run on the damn ball. So,
yeah, he was definitely amped up. But one thing that's great about him too is he came right back on his second at bat and rocketed a double, left center and got that run right back. So
that's a neat story. How about the Braves over the weekend doing Braves things? I think
that was a great game against the Rockies. It was like 10-4, 10-1 or something.
Yeah. The Braves they waste a 15 strikeout performance over the weekend. Holmes punches out 15 guys, and the Braves lose, 10-1?
Yeah, 10-1.
What about that? What about the Braves?
Yeah, I know, and to the Rockies nonetheless, right? We were just talking about that last week too. Looking forward to that series and needing to take those wins. But, like we had talked about, Braves are they're a mediocre team, and it's a 162-game season. They might be a 500 team. I think that, that's probably right around their ceiling, maybe 5 over, but they just don't have the pieces this year.
That had to hurt. The Rockies have only won like 14 games. 2 of those are to the Braves. I mean, the Braves give them 2 wins. A team we haven't talked a lot about, the Astros. I look around at the Astros, and they are 10 games. They're 41-31. Sitting in first place. And Kate, speak to this. Has anybody had more injuries than them, and somehow they piece this thing together?
Yeah, and the other crazy thing about the Astros too, speaking of injuries and guys just stepping up, is they have one of the worst rated farm systems in the game. They're not supposed to be able to plug and play guys like this, but again, their core is just so good, and then you have the emergence of Hunter Brown on the mound, and Jose Altuve, and it's a winning culture, and there is a little bit of a schedule thing at play, I think, with them, but it's nothing to take away from the Astros. They've just always somehow figured it out.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's chemistry. I mean, they've been there so much, and you've lost some pieces. I get all that, but at the end of the day, their core. You lose Bregman. I understand that, and he's part of the core group, but you still have kind of that core leadership group.
Do they still have Altuve running around in the outfield?
Yeah, they do.
Speaking of guys that need to get pulled for late inning replacements, God bless him. I mean, he's not your prototypical outfielder, right? But they want that bat in that lineup.
He can hammer it.
Right.
Definitely visiting, talking some baseball. We do it every Tuesday with Kade Kistner, publisher for Sports Illustrated. Strange weekend, I thought, this past weekend in Major League Baseball. The Yankees and the Mets both were swept, even though they're both sitting in first place in their divisions. I thought that was weird. And, Kate, I think I've got this right. The AL Central, I don't know if I've ever seen this. If you look at the standings right now and their streaks, everybody everybody has at least a 2-game losing streak in the entire division, so they're not playing each other, which tells you everybody has at least 2-game losing streak, which tells you the entire division, AL Central, has lost the last 2 days. Nobody's won a game in 2 days. I've never seen that, I don't think. What do we lose, Kate?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, Kate. Are you there?
Yeah, can you repeat that one more time? I'm so sorry. I did lose you.
Yeah, we were talking about the AL Central. It looks like everybody's on a losing streak right now. Everybody's had at least 2 games in a row they've lost. I don't think I've ever seen a division that is everybody. They're not playing each other, so they're all sitting on at least a 2-game losing streak in the AL Central.
Yeah, I was actually looking at that last night while watching the Dodgers. Yeah, it's weird. And then I think it's the AL West, and I think everyone is on a winning streak. So, yeah, I noticed that last night too. Again, the AL Central outside of the Tigers and the Royals are, they're not good teams. So, and that's just one of those, funky baseball stats, and why you gotta love the sport, right? I mean, it is odd and things like that happen. So, but yeah, I think it just boils down to, outside of, again, 2 teams, everyone else is not very good.
And it drives home what you just said. If ever you were going to make up some ground on Detroit, it'd be right now. Even they've got a couple game losing streak. Detroit's still +9.
Yeah,
they're still +9. A few more minutes with Kade Kistner, baseball talk here. We do it every Tuesday about 5:30. Kade, we mentioned the Yankees. They're in a little bit of a down period. Judge finally had a situation where he's been striking out a lot. We haven't seen that all year. The Yankees' lead right now is 2.5, and it's 2.5 over Tampa Bay. That's a facade, right? I mean, Tampa Bay can't stick around, right? I mean, they're 2.5 out, but we're still in the first half of the season. That's not going to last, is it?
Yeah, I mean, outside of a couple of fluke seasons, the last 6 or 7 years, the Rays have just always stuck around. They don't spend a ton of money. I think it's a testament to their player development, their scouting. They do things on a budget, and honestly, they're the only team in the league, I think, in the last 10 years where I find their method acceptable of not spending money. Again, you look at, you look at their sales, you look at, their attendance for games, and you can't expect them to go spend, $300 million on a player. But what they do, everything else they do it very correctly. And so, the Rays, again, you're not going to see any kind of big profile names on there. I think, Yandy Diaz is probably their best player. But they've got again, kind of like the Astros, they've got a good culture, good chemistry. They have a fantastic coaching staff, all the way up and down their entire system. So it's one of those things. Keep an eye on the Rays.
They're ahead of Toronto. They're ahead of Boston. They're right behind the Yankees.
But they are around every year, and it's their minor league system. These guys come up, and then they start balling, and they get rid of them for more resources through their minor leagues, and it's because of the payroll. I mean, I get all that, but I think they're going to be pesky the rest of the season. I don't see them falling way off.
Interesting. Kade, a couple minutes left, 2 minutes left with Kade Kistner here. Baseball Talk, we do it every Tuesday. Really, really, really enjoy it. Getting back to the Phillies, they've crept back. They're 2 games out. They're 2 games out right now. We were talking a week ago that, and you may have said this, and if I misheard you, I'm sorry. We were talking a week ago that Bryce Harper is eligible to come off IL on the 16th, which was yesterday. Has there been a move with him yet, or did I mishear that, or what's going on?
No, not at all. So I've heard that Harper will not come off the IL until he is absolutely pain-free in that wrist. So he traveled with the team for this road trip. He's been taking ground balls, but he has not been, he's not been hitting in the cages or anything like that. So, again, it sounds like he's getting there. And with this kind of extended absence, I'm going to imagine that he'll need a rehab start, at least maybe 2.
I got you.
But it is Bryce Harper, and he kind of calls the shots. So we'll see. But this time next week, he may very well be in the lineup. So,
and I think Braves Mets are the next series, so the Phillies are pulling for the Braves. Braves Mets. Coming up.
Exactly.
Man, good stuff all the way around. Boy, we are getting deep into it, man. Closing in on the 4th of July. Kate, always enjoy our Tuesday talks with Baseball Talk. Let's do it again next week. Have a good rest of the week, and we'll have a ton to talk about next Tuesday, my friend.
Sounds good, gentlemen. See you.
That's our buddy Kade Kistner with Baseball Talk. Kate, of course, the Sports Illustrated publisher, knows a ton. Love talking to him. Sometimes I feel like, gosh, am I asking the right questions? Trent, appreciate you. We'll watch college baseball as we get out of here.
Yes, we will.
Louisville holding on to a 6-4 lead. Just kicked one in the 9th. Oh, my goodness. This thing's getting tight. Did 2 runs score there? That might have just tied the ball game. An error by Louisville. They are in the top of the 9th, tied at 6 now. Louisville will have an at-bat, but my goodness, Louisville has been leading this game, Trent, the whole day. It's tied because they just let a ball, shortstop, right?
Yeah.
Went under his
dribbler
glove. So track that. We have a second game or actually third game coming up tonight. You will have UCLA. Here's that play again. UCLA will take on Arkansas, another elimination game. So we'll get out of here on that. Either Louisville or Oregon State goes home within a few minutes, we would imagine. And then later tonight, either UCLA or Arkansas goes home as the College World Series is starting to get down to the Final Four. That'll wrap it up. I want to thank everybody that made the show possible, including Casey Kurtz, or Trenton Torsia, and, of course, Patrick Allen, Terry Norvell. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, everybody.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website. Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at